Beaver fans, and welcome back to another episode of Meet the Beavers. Happy spring break, by the way. Yes, we are live this week, back in the place where all the magic happens. Once again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich, and we are back with a familiar guest from a previous show here, ladies and gentlemen. We had him on for football, and now let's bring him in for some wrestling action, and he just completed a bid to the national tournament, and he won the region tournament this past week. Joining us now is Jake Swirple from the men's wrestling team. Jake, good to have you back on again.
Thanks for having me
been
back.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We're second time now. How's it been?
Good. Really good. Really good.
Yeah, certainly it's got to feel good for winning the region tournament in your weight class. Just talk to us. How was that?
It was awesome. I trained every day and we did the things. Like I got into practice every day. Just went over little things every single day. I had a philosophy of getting better, 1% better each day. And, I got in there with Coach Marty, Coach Forty, Coach Mitchum. All the coaches were in there, big help. Training was really good. My diet was really dialed in. Recovery was really dialed in. And once regionals hit, it was go time for me. But, I'm really happy that I'm a regional champion. That's one of my goals, but the job's not finished.
Yeah, some big goals, some big aspirations as you're just now heading into the national tournament in your weight class. Before we get into more of that a little bit, like I said, we're on spring break now. How has that been going for you? Getting a little break from classes and saving some time for rest. I guess I know it's a little busy, but how have you been able to take advantage of the time for wrestling this week?
This past week we still had classes, so I went to class and then I trained. But yeah, it was the same routine. Everything I did for regionals, I'm trying to replicate for nationals because it worked. It's the formula. And like I said, job's not finished. I want to be a national champ, and I thoroughly believe I'm going to. And I just have to repeat what I did, and getting that first takedown is huge for me. This is the first day of spring break, but we leave tomorrow at 6 a.m. and then we go to Indianapolis. So it's go time.
Up and at 'em. Yeah, it's gonna be a long bus ride, but exciting one at that, Jake. Have you looked at any of the brackets in the national tournament? Do you kind of have an idea of who's out there? Do you have your eyes on anyone at all?
So,
in particular?
I asked Coach Forty and I asked Coach Marty if they want me to watch film, and they told me no. We're going to watch film for you. Keep wrestling the way you are. Obviously, I've seen the brackets. I got the UNC Pembroke kid first, and I'm going to take it one match at a time. But I'm set up in a really good spot. I got the 6th seed of the tournament. That's a really good spot for me. I'm just excited. I'm excited to get on the mat, and more than anything, I'm just ready to wrestle. Like, all the work's done. It's just about wrestling now.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, going back to the regional tournament, this is your senior year, to claim the title, that just had to feel extra special for you.
Oh, yeah, it did. And not only for me, but for my team and the school. That's my big thing. And, I was talking to the strength coaches because I just got done with lift, and, it occurred to me that we haven't had a Division II NCAA national champion.
Really?
Yeah, in any sport. I know hockey, they're in a different league, right? So, but for any sport, I don't believe there's been a D2 national champion NCAA-wise since we, made the transition from NAI to NCAA, and that's my goal. And, it's bigger than just me. Obviously, it's my goal. Since day one, that's been my goal, to be a national champion. Yeah. But I want to do it for the city. I want to do it for the school. Everyone that's been involved, my coaches have been such a huge part of this, and my teammates too. And, I told Coach Forty because he was, there's a 2-week mandatory break after season. So after the season, after regionals, Forty was going to give those guys time off. And I said, look, spring break's coming up, so let that be the first week. I want those guys in the room with me to experience everything that I'm going through.
Oh, that's good.
And I think that's huge for the development of the younger guys. And, I appreciate all my teammates and all the coaches and the athletic department and everyone that's been involved here. And being a senior, it's crazy how far, the journey has been since day one to now. And now just seeing everything and getting ready for a national tournament and getting back there again, since last year, that was my goal. I came up short, but I use that as motivation day in, day out. So
Yeah, and you've certainly grown since that day one, and like you said, getting your teammates involved, like the young pups, the freshmen.
Yep.
How have they, since you've invited them in, how have they, taken this experience, and how have they been seeing, what's been going down with you and your situation?
Oh,
in like,
it's funny. Young pups, they love it too, but so do the seniors too. A lot of the seniors, they don't have to be in there because their season's done, right? Their career's done, but they're still showing up because they're excited. And they know how big this is for the program and me and just being good teammates. They're in there every day. We'll get in 30 minutes before and we have a spike ball. So we'll play spike ball before, getting ready. And then once I know that 3:30 practice time hits, it's go time. And then afterwards, we'll play a little spike ball after. I'll do some conditioning and they're pushing me. And they're like, hey, let's go. Keep up the pace. Mm-hmm. And they're pushing me to be better because they know my goals. And they know how bad I want it to.
Mm-hmm. What's an experience you can take from the previous Nationals trip a couple years ago to now?
That's a great question. Just the atmosphere, because it's different. So, regionals, there's three mats set up, right? Mm-hmm. At Nationals, I think there's 6. There's more, 6 to 8, something like that. There's huge, and especially being in that caliber of arena, it's the noise, the crowd noise, being able to hear my coaches, because I tell, Forty and Marty and Mitchum and all those guys, even Oscar, he's our GA too. He's done a great job. I want to, hats off to him. He's one of the best GAs in the country. I mean, he's doing a hell of a job. I mean, all the scouting reports he does, my coaches, they're watching film every single day, and I appreciate them. But, going back to the question you asked, the atmosphere, and I always tell my coaches, they're my eyes from the side, right? So they can see things where I can't, and just listening to them, that's the biggest thing. But I do that naturally, but just living up to the moment and, taking it all in, match by match, period by period. Like I said, getting that first takedown's big, get my offense early, just that. Just all that combined, really, is that's the biggest thing I took from that. Because obviously, wrestling 2 years ago in Cedar Rapids, that was my first time going. And that was my first goal, right? All-American. And then that was a building block, right? And I set back last year, and now this time it's time to finish the job. So that's what it is just wrestling perfect. Wrestling smart, wrestling perfect, and just wrestling my match. That's the biggest thing, I think. That and just being able to adapt to the environment.
Yeah, how big are the crowds usually there, for these national tournaments?
Oh,
and
they're big.
With the venues, you said the atmosphere, what's that kind of like wrestling there compared to, somewhere like the Dome or at the regional tournament in Sioux Falls, or what are the rankings? If you could power rank anything, this stadium wise, actually I should ask this: how cool is it to wrestle in those types of environments?
Oh, it's awesome. But what I will say, out of all the NSIC schools, the Dome's the best. The Dome is the best environment for sure. We got great fans. We have a great crew. Oh, yeah. But I'd rank that for at least for the NSIC for sure. Mm-hmm. Number one. And then obviously once you get to these big tournaments, there's a lot of fans. There's thousands of people because you got 70 something schools in D2, and there's 50 of the 70 going to be there. So there's thousands of folks at the venue. So I mean, I can't tell you the exact number, but there's a lot of people there. So it's really cool. It's really cool. And the venues this year are going to be at the Indiana State Fairgrounds.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just last year we had at the North Dakota State Fairgrounds the regional tournament. So from one state fairground set to another, well, that's exciting, Jake. Yeah. We're certainly rooting for you in that aspect there. Let's talk a little bit away from wrestling. Since we've had you on last time, it was during the football season, and obviously the winningest football team in the NCAA era. How cool was it to be a part of that? And just tell us about experience. You also went to the Podium Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
That was down in Miami.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, your first question for sure. That was great. I mean, Coach Shields, he knows what he's doing. Coach Simi, the whole staff, they're great coaches, and they got a game plan, and I'm really excited to see what those guys are going to do next year. And it's really cool, even though, right, I'm done with football in college now. Being a collegiate football player, I'm done. But Coach Shields will reach out to me all the time, and so does Coach Simi, and he shows up, so he'll work out at the same time I do in the weight room, and he always wants me to keep him updated about how wrestling season's going. So they've been great. They're really a great staff. They're one of the best in the country. I'm thoroughly believe that. They're on top of their game, and I'm excited for what those guys are going to do. And then the second question you asked for the Podium Bowl, that was really cool. That was a really, really cool experience. They did a great job. I played with a lot of people from around the country. A lot of Division I schools were there. A lot of Division II, III, NAIA, the whole entire leagues, all of them. It's funny because, so I started at center, and then when I wasn't at center in the rotation, I was at guard. And then I long snapped for punt and field goal.
Long snapper.
Yeah. And I played defensive tackle.
Ooh,
I got 2 reps at D tackle, and so I stuffed the A gap. They had sent me on a slant, and the linebacker made the play. And then the next play, I got a half sack.
Nice.
So yeah, it was, well, when I long snapped too, I long snapped for both teams because they were like, hey, they didn't bring a long snapper because it's kind of hard for those types of games to find. I'm like, well, I was always our emergency long snapper, so I'd like to get some film for that. And I'm like, yeah, why not? So it was funny because one play, this is how the series went. So I was center, right? We got stopped at third down. I had to long snap. And then I went to defensive tackle, stopped them on third, and then I had to go back to the offensive side and long snap, and then I went back to the offensive side for my team.
What a series of events that is. Did you have a favorite in particular at all? I know you made some plays on D tackle, but did you have any?
All of them. I'm just a ball player. Yeah, football. I like playing football. Obviously, I'm a jack of all trades, I guess you could say.
I like it.
Obviously I played center for 3 years, started 3 years, but, I have played defensive tackle in my career, like throughout my whole entire football career, and I have long snap, but any position, at the next level they could get me at, I'll play it.
No, that's good. And, we're rooting for you and that in wrestling, whatever it is, Jake, that you take on. We also asked you last time about, your classes, psychology and criminal justice. Yep. How have those been going lately?
Really good, really good. I'm done with my criminal justice degree. I'm done with my law and legal minor. Now it's just about getting my last gen ed, which is statistics, intro statistics. I'm doing fine in that. And then just finished up my psych degree. So preparing for the major field test in May, and then I'll get my degrees.
Awesome. Wish you the best of luck in that. In all regards there, Jake. Another question, a little fun one here for you. The NCAA, it's the third time I'm asking this now to, someone on the show. We've had Nina Sandoval and Haley LaMotta on the show. What are your thoughts after the NCAA just approved women's wrestling as the 91st championship sport? What are your thoughts on the growth of that sport? How awesome is it to see that?
My girlfriend, Emily Hill, she's on the wrestling team, the female wrestling team, and she's so excited about that. It's awesome. I'm so glad that they are allowed to wrestle NCAA now. It's really cool because it's grown so much. Yeah. And that's so good for the girls. I'm really happy for them. I really am. It's awesome.
Oh, that is good to hear. And tell us any last things you want to say about the national tournament. Any obviously going for that national championship, but what are some things you just like to experience there, and thoughts going in, and just kind of the whole shebang.
Well, first off, like I've been saying, I want to give a huge shout out to all my coaches because they're one of the best staffs in the country. Coach Forty, Coach Marty, Coach Mitchum, GA being an Oscar, or Oscar being a GA, and then actually one of our assistant coaches that's volunteers, Kevin White. He shows up, and then my drill partners, Noe and Briley, they show up all the time, and then Zach too. He was a mid-year transfer, and I appreciate him and all the work he's done. It's a hard job to come in every day and knowing you're gonna get, you're gonna get your butt kicked every day, and you're gonna be pushed to be better. But that's why I always remind him is that, look, man, you see where I'm going. and I'm going to push you to be better, and just drilling with me every day. And I've seen his progress since coming in mid-year to now. He's gotten a lot better, and that's really exciting. Secondly, I'm just so grateful to get back to the show, and I'm just ready to wrestle. That's what it is. I'm just ready to wrestle every day. There's not a day I don't think about winning that national title, and it's bigger than me. It's not just about me. It's about my teammates. It's about my coaches. And it's about Minot State and then actually the city of Minot. I also have to give a huge shout out to Mayor Tom Ross too. I know he's a big booster, and that was he was one of the first people I actually met on my visit, and he believed in me since day one. And he's been just a great person to be around the whole program. He's all about Minot State athletics, and everyone in the athletic department, from Jordan to Kevin Harmon, everyone up there, Keegan Berry, he wrestles with me a lot too, and he's actually going to national tournament.
Nice.
Those guys are awesome. I mean, without all those factors, right, I wouldn't be the athlete I am, right? Because I put the work in, but they do, the ins and outs, and they do everything that most athletes don't think about, and they're a huge part of this. And I just want them to know I'm so grateful, and I thank them. And I want to do this for the city. I want to do this for the school. I want to do this for the athletic department. I want to do this for the program, for all my teammates, all my coaches, everyone involved. And I appreciate you, interviewing me. And you're awesome too. From doing all the wrestling, right? And then you do football too. You do a great job with all that stuff. I'm grateful for everyone involved. So.
And Jake, before we send you off here, for the fans in particular, anything you want to say to them? I know you kind of went on a spiel already, but anything for them, for the people watching at home?
Be ready. Have a close eye. Like I said, right? This is my philosophy right here. I wear this shirt. I ordered it for regionals and nationals. Memento mori. I look at it every day, which is Latin. It means remember you must die. And I think about that every day because I want to, make a name for myself and make a name for the school and city. It's time, Minot. It's time. It's time we get a national champion. And, it's not just me, like I said. It's the school. It's the athletic department. And I'm happy to see where we're going to go to. Be ready. It's going to happen. Let's go after it. I'm excited.
You heard the man. That was Jake Swirple of the men's wrestling team heading off to nationals this week. You can follow him this time around. We'll be looking out for social media for Minot State Men's Wrestling, posting any live stream links, any live action stats or whatever. Jake, thank you for being on the show once again, a second time in the past couple semesters now. So we appreciate it. And wish you the best of luck in all your endeavors. So thank you, Jake. And there you have it once again, folks. And that wraps up another episode of Meet the Beavers. We were live on spring break today, by the way. So hopefully all you guys are enjoying some of the time off. Or if you're like Jake, got some unfinished business to take care of. But with that being said, folks, I want to thank you all for tuning in again. Again, lots of exciting things happening around Minot State Athletics. Be sure to follow along on social media, MSU Beavers, Facebook, X, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. All the stuff, all the goods are on there. You can catch everything through that. So thank you guys once again, and roll Beavs.
Job's not finished. Roll Beavs.